on staff at Fightful. I know it's been probably an up and down last year and a half for you, personally, professionally. This is kind of for Tony too. The first time when Joe seemed like he would be available, was that something that you were like immediately interested in exploring? And were you even able to reach out to him contractually at that point?
No, but I was interested, and it just never happened. But it would have been great. But here it worked out great, right?
And to be honest, he didn't really even have much of a chance. So
sure. But how are you feeling now? Because I mean, it was obvious that like they would be somebody that was interested in you. And how did you feel when you heard that Tony bought ROH? Something that obviously means a lot to you.
Obviously, it was a major surprise to me, especially coming from my former position and how hard I was pushing to buy the library for the other company. So let me know why it was being such a difficult process. But when that did come up, at the same time, having Tony have it and knowing how much he loves wrestling. And knowing how much he loved ROH and the product just from our meetings and time knowing each other, I knew it would be in good hands, and I knew it would be treated with respect, and it would be kind of made available to the fans in the best way possible. So I was very, very happy with it.
Joe, Denise Salcedo, Instinct Culture. I do have to ask you, being released twice is not something that, people want to have to deal with, right? And given that you are able to do all these different types of roles, behind the camera, in front of the camera, etc., I do have to ask you, how did you feel about that, and what was your, your mentality going through that?
At this point in my career and what I've done, the second release, my going back to WWE was majorly because of the people that I worked with and the relationships that I built in the company, and namely two people in Triple H and William Regal. As Triple H obviously dealing with his situation, which I knew about and was way more concerned about than my employment. And Regal, his departure, I knew the writing was on the wall for me, and which is fine. We were a big collective team and a big collective kind of a think tank within the company, and they went a different way. And as far as like the release, I mean, it's an up and down process for a lot of people. For me, I mean, it just freed me up to really kind of pursue a lot of projects that I really wanted to work on, and kind of freed me up to start talking with Tony and talking about the future of what he wanted to do, and I was very surprised a lot of that matched up.
Next, Joel.
Joel Torres from Contralona. ROH Originals, AEW Originals, new stars coming up on ROH and AEW. How do you feel about this? I mean, there's a lot of new generation, and you guys can combine now the originals and the new generation. How do you feel about working with this?
I'm more than excited. These are the environments that I love. A lot of guys, they get to a certain point in the industry, and they don't want to put themselves on the crucible. They don't want to put themselves in situations where they got young, hungry guys who want to come up and tear the throat out for their spot. I've never had an issue with that, and that's a major reason why I'm here. Talking with Tony, understanding the lay of the land and the athletes that have been attracted to AEW and ROH. I knew that. It was a place that I wanted to be. A lot of familiar faces, a lot of new, kind of burgeoning stars that are coming into their own. And, these are the environments where I thrive. When I came into NXT, it was very much the same type of thing. When I came into WWE, everywhere I go, I'm searching out for those type of matchups, those type of individuals. And AEW is flush with them, and ROH is flush with them. And, now I have this grand opportunity to pursue those targets on both brands.
Hello, Joe. Mike Dagger for Lucha Libre Online. I know it's been a difficult, maybe like 2 years when it comes to even with the releases, but not only that, but you have been known to have a few injuries that have been lingering with your body. Father time unbeatable, right? Mm-hmm. So, how do you feel moving forward that that you're gonna have to fight a different generation of wrestlers, younger wrestlers, and be able to keep up with that?
No, more than confident. What you got to understand, too, is, coming into WWE, that is me coming off a 15-year plus career, probably the worst medical care that a guy can get, and going into probably, a very, very, arduous schedule. And, I did have a few injuries, one of them just being the major concussion, which took me out for a while. And honestly, I took extra time. When it comes to brain injury and stuff like that, I wasn't willing to risk going back quickly and potentially harming myself permanently. It's a dumb thing to do. We have too much science on our side. We have too much knowledge now that we can, kind of pull back and treat things properly and take the time to heal. And, I took the time to do that. And that was really just my major issue. Was I was taking the right amount of time to make sure that I was ready to come back to the ring. And, as for my last injury, obviously it was more of a circumstance of the world that we all currently live in now. And, it pops up here and there. And, I've been healthy. I'm more than ready to go, and I'm excited to go.